Wanting to learn another method that you can use specifically to get clients for your SMMA agency without having to spend $1 on ads? I just recently, this last week, did a full in-depth training on exactly what our GSD students and our own agency are doing to find endless emails for their targeted niche, to then automate cold emails to actually send them out and get clients, the exact messaging that they can use, the exact sequence they can use, the tech stack that you can use to actually make it all work. I put it all together in one quick, easy to consume training, and now I've got it here on the channel just for you. If you like this video and you want more exactly the same, we put one out every single week just like this on client acquisition and client fulfillment strategies so that you can improve your digital business easily. All I ask is that you smash that subscribe button and check off the notifications so that when we do put these out, you'll actually be notified and you can come and partake every single week. So with that being said, smash that subscribe button and let's dive in. This is how to get agency clients with cold email. Today, we are going to be talking specifically about how to use cold email to get clients for your SMMA agency or coaching program or whatever it is that you've got going on. Cold email, how to use cold email to generate clients for your SMMA agency. Now, a lot of people will say things on the internet, they'll make exclamations about how things are dead. And one of those things is going to be cold email. They're going to say, cold email is dead. Facebook posting is dead. Don't send a DM ever again, right? Now, what we teach inside of the GSD is understanding first that you have two resources in life, right? Time and money. And that we know that a lot of you guys at the beginning don't have a lot of money to be able to put towards a lot of these ads. And so we focus your time in the beginning on trying to figure out your OSS, your optimal selling strategy. And if you've never read the book Ready, Fire, Aim, guys, that's where I got this terminology from, Ready, Fire, Aim for optimal selling strategy. And what we're trying to do is find what it is, right? Where is your market? Where are your avatar? What is the messaging that gets them to buy, right? And do they even give a shit in the first place? Okay. What this means is we're spending time in the beginning testing out different things. So normally in the GSD, in the main inner circle program, we teach them Facebook, we teach them IG, we teach them LinkedIn automation, we teach them cold email, right? Content, TikTok, all this stuff that they can do so that you can learn what it is. So here you're going to be sending messages. Here you're going to be sending messages. Here you're going to be getting connection requests, sending mail. And here you're going to be sending cold email. Now, this particular thing that you're all looking at right now, the VIP every single week, what we're focused on entirely is helping people with these first sections. That's finding their optimal selling strategy by testing different methodologies, understanding how to create an offer that you can utilize on a lot of these things, right? And then getting your ass out there and putting this shit to work. So if you've paid any attention to a lot of the stuff that we've done, it's been, organic Facebook outreach. It's been content on Facebook. It's been some ads, right? Where do ads fit into this? If we think of this in a phase by phase thing for what the optimal selling strategy is, right? Then we got to first find our OSS by investing time. Then we focus our time entirely on our OSS because we found our optimal selling strategy. Then we scale our OSS by money. So we have, again, using time to find it, focusing time to start to build it, and then scaling it by using paid traffic. And if you guys have paid attention, if you hang out here enough with us, you go over this over the months, you're getting different pieces for how you can go and figure this out. Different pieces of organic marketing so that you can find your optimal selling strategy, different pieces of actual paid traffic so that you can scale it, and also paid traffic so you can bill for your clients. It's all about client acquisition and client fulfillment. Now, today, we're going to focus in on one of those individual pieces, okay? That individual piece is going to be how do we use cold email, okay, to be able to do this. The first thing we got to do for cold email, right, is have our scary offer. Okay, and we're not going to spend too much time on the scary offer today. That's on a different video. There's all kinds of trainings you guys have seen on that. But at the base of it is it's a big end result plus a customer language plus specificity plus risk reversal. And then below it, we have our sub offer where it fits, which is our unique selling position or our reverse pain statement, right? So let's keep it simple today and just go with a real estate one where I help real estate agents add 10 listing, get 10 listing appointments, 10 listing appointments every 30 days without having to talk to a single unqualified lead using my AI powered sales monster, whatever. Okay, so just a simple real estate one that we're taking there. Now we have our base offer, okay, and that's what we need for everything. The reason the scary offer is the core piece before we do anything else. In any one of my trainings that you guys have watched, you'll look at the paid traffic ones, you'll look at the organic traffic ones. The first thing you always need is a scary offer. That's because it creates everything else. If you have the scary offer, this can be your profile funnel. This can be some of your content. This can be your mission post, your control ad, all of these terminologies and models that we use inside the GSD, right? And if we look at this as an extended picture, you look at the 3-phase optimal selling strategy thing I just talked about, right? You look at all these frameworks and models we have underneath: scary offer, perfect stranger method, SOAP ads, control ad, rapid fire testing. You'll see how they all fit within those phases and those frameworks. So we take that scary offer right now and we come over to here. So let's go through this. We have a cheat sheet inside the inner circle I'm going to walk through for the cold email process. What we want to do here first is find the niche. So we picked real estate, but understanding again, guys, that you want to have, and you got to talk to somebody. You can't just be scraping all the emails on all the internet and trying to figure that out. You got to go after a person. Then you got to craft your message using the scary offer. So once you've got that, you figured out what they want, right? Most people are going to craft these long, over-bloated emails with way too much information in them. They're going to tell you everything about their company, everything about their success and offer. And guess what? No one gives a shit. With cold email, you get a tiny fraction of a moment where they're going to pay attention. So you kind of have to make it count. Long informational emails work for warm audiences or people who opt in. So for us, for instance, if you opt into like our free course or something else on the internet, we give you the thing in the first email. It's just like, here's the course, here's an offer. Hey, do you want to book a call? Right. But now after that, you're in a more nurturing kind of component. So now that they know who you are and you've already done the thing that they opted in for, you've already given them the value that they wanted at first, right? Now you can craft these longer bloated emails with story and SOAP sequences and all that stuff after that. But when it's cold, we need to just offer what we think they want. And that example is covered with what we're doing with the actual scary offer, right? So if we take some of these and we look at some of these very simple AA ones and what we're doing with cold email. So we're taking this with cold email and we're going to do some sequences here. Okay. So this is the way that we've been doing it in the program. And there's lots of GSD students that use cold email to book, at least daily appointments. They're using this as part of their optimal selling strategy. The cool thing about this process that I teaching you in the beginning about finding your optimal selling strategy is that it's interesting that not everybody is always using the same thing. There's different people that find that different strategies fit them. There are different optimal selling strategies for each one. And so what we're going to be here for cold email sequence, right, is we do 1 is an offer, 2 is a re-offer, and then 3 is a different offer. Okay. So this one would be just a straight scary offer. This one is a different way of saying it. And this is a completely different, like a new scary offer, like scary offer 2. Okay. We're just trying to see what resonates. Some people will do this thing where it's like, they'll send a cold email, then they'll send the other one like, hey, did you open this? Did you read it? Dumbest shit I've ever seen. Don't like that at all. Okay. Why? Because we're not trying to, if they did see the first one, they ignored it. So they didn't give a shit about the offer. If they didn't see it, they're not going to give a shit that you said, did you see my first one?
And then I'm going to go over, once he's done with this, let me just go over a different approach. Like this, are you showing them this approach for like bulk, right? Like they can automate this process?
Mass cold email. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I'm going to show you a cold email sequence that's going to be highly manual, but highly targeted, which is going to be exactly the same as this, absent automation. Okay. And I'll tell you why, other than the fact that I'm 44.
So what we end up with here, right, is we're taking this first thing and we're creating an email based around. So I'm contacting you because we get a lot of new requests for people looking to sell property in your area. We don't have a local realtor to send them to. Reply yes if you can take on, let's say, a minimum of, and what did we say up on the top? 10 new listing appointments in the next month. Our system only sends them once they're ready to talk, ready and able. Replied no if you want to be taken off the list. So we want to elicit both positive and negative responses when we're doing cold emails, okay? Because just the actual response alone will warm up our domains when we're doing this kind of stuff. And I'll show you a little bit of the tech setup and a couple of these tricks you got to do here in a second. But you have to have either yes responses or no response. Even if they email you and they're like, fuck off and never talk to me again, you're a giant POS, right? It's still a good thing because it's warming up your domain. The bad thing is if they're hitting the spam button, or if you send 1,000 emails or 10,000 emails or 100,000 emails and nobody ever responds, that kind of stuff can get your domain blacklisted. That's why we also have the reply no if you want to be taken off the list. A reoffer here, right, can be something much, much quicker, right? So if I take this as directly off this sheet over here and we say, okay, hey there, have some potential listings to send your way, reply with a quick yes. This is just a very short version, right, of what we said before. Now, I would change it up a little bit. I would get more specific with it, right? So now I would say, I have 10 potential listings available in your area. Our exclusive realtor partner, they're just recently left. So the spot is open. Reply a quick yes if you're interested. And again, I would put the reply with a quick no if you're not, if you want to be taken off the list. And I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of this and put it in the Diamond Club chat, okay, for you guys, so you guys get this resource. So what we're doing here is a quick offer, and then we're doing a reoffer, different way of saying the same exact thing, okay? Then, if we're following the process, and let me go throw this over into here. Here. All right, I just threw it into the Diamond Club chat for you guys. So if we now say, okay, cool, then we would want to do a different offer, right? And the different offer would be for real estate would be pretty simple. We're just going to go and we're going to say, okay, let's just do the same thing, but with buyers, right? Now let's say something like this, only we're saying, I get exclusive buyer requests. We're getting exclusive buyer requests that aren't shared with any other realtors every single day. We had a partner in your area. We only do one person per area. We had a partner in your area, but they recently moved to another city, and that area is now popped up. Reply back with a quick yes if you want. So that kind of not only the three different email kind of templates I'm talking about, but the why we're using them in that way and in that order, kind of making sense for you guys. And then the easiest thing to do here is if we look and we see examples, really it's just taking the idea of customer language and scary offers and changing it to fit, right? So for dentists, we're talking about patients instead of listings. With real estate, we're talking about listings and buyers. With dentists, we're talking about patients. And you want to get specific. So instead of saying I have a number of potential patients, you'll say, 5 potential patients to say. You want to talk about exclusive areas. You want to give it as much specificity and as big of a result as you can come up with for your scary offer. Same with everything else, right? Moving companies. I have 10 potential moving clients to send your way, all of that stuff. Now, we're going to let Rahul get into his process in a second, but I want to go over the tech stack real quick before he goes through his cold email process here. So the tech stack here has changed a little bit since I last made this document, but a few things stay exactly the same. Number one is buy multiple domains. So when you are sending cold email, number one rule, if you don't write anything else down besides the email templates I gave you and this rule I'm about to say, is never, ever, ever use your core domain, your client's core domain, or any subdomain that's attached to those domains, okay? because you will get blacklisted eventually, no matter what we do, no matter how well you warm it up. If you're sending cold email, you're going to get banned. So don't fucking do it. We need to make sure that we want to keep this shit going, so you can't do that shit. Okay. So what we're going to go out and do is you're going to go to GoDaddy. You're going to find some slight tweaks and slight variations on the domain that you have for your business or your client's business. And you're going to buy, 4 or 5 of them. They're going to cost anywhere from $2 to like $40 a piece, whatever, who cares? And you're going to get as many of them as you can that all look a little bit similarly to the one that you normally use, because you do not want to get blacklisted and have all of your company emails going to spam. And every time you send an email to a client, they're like, I never heard from you. You don't want to have that shit going. Super important. That's a disclaimer. So if any of you ever come to me and say, Cody, I did the cold email strategy and now my whole life is ruined and my domain's fucked, and I'm going to say, well, you didn't pay attention to the emphasis that I put on. And that's why I mumbled on for 10 minutes about it, so that this doesn't happen to you. The second part, you're going to create a G Suite account, okay, for your domain. So you're going to take your domain, you're going to go create a G Suite account. The connection is quite simple. Why you need that is because the tool we recommend using to actually send the emails is Woodpecker. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say, probably in the private coaching session or out there on Facebook, YouTube, all the different places this is going to be going on. Well, why don't you guys use GHL for your cold email? Why don't you use GHL for your cold email? Well, my answer to that question is because GHL is not set up to be used for cold email. You could do it, but it's not set up specifically for that. It's missing some of the functionality. It's a little bit more difficult to get set up than this. So the easiest way to do it for me, and for what I think you guys should be doing, is this process. Buy a bunch of domains, set up a G Suite account that you can easily swap in and out, and then create a Woodpecker account where it's easy to connect that G Suite account to. What Woodpecker does, and other things like Mailshake and some other platforms like this, is it allows to be specifically created so that it's monitoring the domain blacklist for you. It's dripping them out in specific drip patterns. It's allowing you to send out mass emails and be able to schedule it all. I just find it to be easier to use than GHL. Now, that being said, plenty of people use GHL to do cold email. So whatever your preference is, but I'm showing you guys a tech stack that we use and the one that we recommend for other people. Go to woodpecker.co, set up an account. It comes with a tiny little fee, but it is needed to automate and drip out your email campaign so that you have all of this stuff separated from your lead connector. And everybody that's raising your hand, save your questions for after the VIP session, please. And thank you. Right. All of this stuff can be set up so that you're dripping it out, getting that shit going. Once you have it set up on Woodpecker, add your G Suite email, like I said, and create a campaign using the 3-step campaign, and then have a reminder email that sends out 3 days later. All of this stuff using the emails that we just wrote so that you can just send it out each step of the way. And then the rest of this, we're not doing anymore. So the debounce account, we don't use. Calendly account, yes, you want to have. And then all of this scraping and stuff. So what we're doing for this now is a much simpler process. I'm actually going to here, and I'm going to go to here. If I'm working with, let's say, real estate agents, I want to search that on LinkedIn. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to hit on people. And what we do is we have a VA say, okay, these are in fact real estate agents. Very good. Cool. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up here. There's a tool called Snove.io. There's a couple of Snove.ios. You got to get the one for LinkedIn. And what you do is you hit save. So it'll scrape all the people on this that you hit, and you click the next page, scrapes. I'm not going to do it because I'm not building a list for realtors at the moment. But let me see if I can sign in. Once you do it, you build a list. I think I'm running one right now for investors for a project that I'm looking at. And so where you can see, once you hit save, you come over here and you do that thing and you hit this as save, it will scrape them quickly and it will add them to whatever list that you select, whatever you create. Over here, it'll then actually tell you, can't find the email for the person or did find the email. Green, it will tell you is valid. Yellow, it will tell you is unverified. And if I have one, yep, red means it's not valid. It's not going to work. It's probably going to bounce, right? And so very similarly to what we used to teach over here, which was debounce and all this other shit that you had to do for different scraping tools and different debounce tools, this tool will actually do all at once. Then you can simply download the prospect list by selecting them all and upload them into Woodpecker to do it. You do this yourself, or you can do this with a very, very cheap, affordable is what I should say, VA. Okay. And you can get any kind of VAs from the Philippines that will do simple data scraping like this for like $2-3 an hour. If you just go to onlinejobs.ph. So onlinejobs.ph, you can get yourself $2-3 an hour employee to do this kind of stuff for you. And if you put up a job description, something that you want them to do for this, where it's just simple data scraping for like $3 an hour, you'll get like 10,000 applicants. So good luck, because we've done this a bunch of times. So then you've got your email sequence. You know how to scrape them. You know how to find them, because it's like, hey, look, Bill Gates spent 20 years and billions of dollars building you the perfect database of all your clients. How nice of him. Everybody think that was nice? Yeah, thumbs up. Nice of him to do. I think it was nice of him to do. Then you can buy a very affordable VA to come and scrape all that database that he spent all that money on building for you. You can use the 3 email sequence and the tech stack that we just showed to actually go and send the emails. Then all you got to do is track. And again, you can have the VA do this yourself. Have a setter be going through and doing this stuff. You can do it. The way that we do it is through the process here. Couple of ways, honestly. We used to have it send out a link, but I always found that the link, you can have it probably be done with the AI stuff. And if you don't know what that is, go check out the AI masterclass that we did, where we built all that stuff out. It's in the replay center. You could create an AI that will respond to the emails and book them that way. Or what we prefer to do is you just call the damn people. Okay. So if they reply back with a yes, you say, cool, I'm going to call this guy. That's an invitation that says, yes, I want those things. That's a prompt for you to do not cold call, a warm call, right? So if some of you are sitting here, and I've talked to a few people lately that are like, I started doing cold calls and that shit just sucked, right? Well, if you want to do warm calls, then what you can do is send out these cold emails, and if you get up there, if you get rocking on this at least 100, 200 a day, even is all it takes, you'll probably end up getting a couple of replies per day. That gives you those warm calls, right? To be able to go hit. That's the kind of momentum that you can build. So if you start scraping them for your niche, you start using your scary offer the way you've got it going on, then you start actually creating this automation and hitting it every day following the warm-up process, meaning, don't blast 10,000 million emails in your first send, or you're going to get blacklisted right away. Send like 25 one day for a few, then 50, then 100, and, slowly ramp that up. And eventually you're going to get blacklisted anyway and replace the domain. But if you do this and scale that up, right, slowly but surely, you'll end up getting multiple conversations per day with all kinds of different businesses specific to what you want to do, specific to what you want to help. And then you just got to get over the fear of picking up the damn phone and actually getting out there and selling the shit. And, that's where Rahul comes in. So 2 things I want Rahul to kind of talk about. One is going to be his email strategy that he was talking about, so he can kind of go through that. And then we'll circle back around to probably opening a loop for another day and another training where we'll talk to him about, what would he say to those kind of warm calls to be able to do the sales process on it. But we'll keep that for another training.
Cool. Thanks, man. Okay. So I'm going to go the opposite of automation. I'm going to make this the hardest job ever. And I'm going to tell you why I think it's also a good plan too. I love the cold email, but then you have to have a strong sales process behind it to be able to get through that. We're not going to go over the sales process today, but the reason I like targeted emails also in supplement of doing this, so they're both working hand in hand, is I'm going to use my time, but I'm going to use this guy, this little noggin up here, the limited brain power that I put out in the world, I'm going to use. So what I do is when I'm doing my outreach, I'm very niche specific. It's not going to be, I serve the world and I have no customers type mentality. It's like I pick a niche and I go all in for as long as I can. The more competitive, the better. I don't really give a shit how bloody the waters are. I'm going to find my angle. That angle is the most important part. I'm going to go back to my first cold angle, and then I'm going to show you how it's stacked up by just doing the same thing over and over with one simple angle. I have behind door number 1 is door number 2 to 10. That's called my ascension model. I have more shit to sell, but then how do I get somebody who I want to get to accelerate know, like, and trust ability? Know, like, and trust means pay me, you trusted me, and you presumably will like me with my work delivery. Then you're going to trust me some more with more money and more delivery, more value that I'm going to deliver to you. So I found, like, when I was selling, like, let's say banner ads, for example, and I'll layer it up to like SEO and other digital marketer stuff. But I literally just said, all right, there's a market out there that has really expensive advertising, like Google ad spenders. When you click it, their landing page is dog shit. So my angle, if it was Google Ads, I would be a landing page optimization expert. I'd have pre-made landing pages for that industry. I would give maybe one or two away for free right up front to get some testing in. And if they wanted to keep it after the first month, if the conversions were high, I want to build them for what I did. So I'm giving it free up front for my own benefit to get a case study, but two, I'm charging them to keep it. So I control the chips. I control the hosting. I turn that shit off if I don't get paid. And I say, have a great day if they want to do that. That's fine. But I also want to have a win-win scenario. I'll work for free to get paid later. That's totally fine. Kind of like a utility bill. You use your phone and then pay them at the end of the month. That's what I want in these free scenarios. So like I kind of pivoted into the landing page because I think that might be more relevant to what you guys do or today's kind of marketing. But I saw that there was a niche called real estate. You guys all heard of it. Realtor.com is a big portal. Homes.com is a big portal. Trulia, Zillow, you name it, Realty Track, new development websites. The way these guys make money is they sell expensive real estate on their website, those banner ads and advertisements. What I started to see was really ugly stuff on there. So they're basically paying 10, 20, 30, $100,000 for the marketing space. But what they were putting on there was a pile of shit. So it didn't attract anybody. So now I knew there was a pain that I'm going to either already make up and I'm going to put it in their mind, or they already know it and know they've done nothing about it because they don't know what to do. Like real estate agents, developers, investors, they don't know like, hey, I could change my banner. I can actually go hire a premium design maker. I can hire somebody who knows how to write words that get clicks. So I went in the foot in the door. I had the pain so high because I'm like, look, it's an expensive thing. Would you spend 10, 20, 30 grand on that? 15. I'm like, man, would it be helpful if that thing got more clicks? Because you have the right real estate. It's just, I have to say that ad, I don't know that people are going to actually be attracted to it. Do you think you could be wasting that whole $15,000 if we don't change that out? In the door, easy sale, easy cold call, easy to make a decision because I'm not trying to sell the big thing right out the gate. It's this low ticket, high value, high pain. And I've associated it to, you're going to lose that advertising dollars. You're going to lose it all. So we can lose it all and cry about it later, or we can salvage it and make some fucking money. So that's how I found that angle. Now, if you do the same thing on like Google ads, think about people who are running Google ads. They don't know how to optimize a landing page. I mean, fuck, sell them a chat widget. Go Google, like, what are the odds somebody fills in a chat widget versus a contact form? You just do that one Google search. Everybody do that right now, or word it however you need to word it. But you're going to see some incredible uptick in chat widgets. If you have Google or Go High Level, go use their chat widget, put it on the website. If you want to be a reseller of some other chat widget like live chat or whatever, Google it, you find some shit. They charge $10 a month. You charge $50 a month. You made a $40 spread. Easy foot in the door. But the point is, that's not just to get $30 recurring, which is probably not going to ever cancel either, by the way. But number two is you want a quick sale, quick win, quick help, quick benefit to them. They get more customers. Then we go into the relationship ascension model. That's how I cold outreached. So if I saw an internet lead that had a deficit, I was just smiling ear to ear. I'm like, baby, I got a lead. Like, I don't wait for shit to come to me. I went to them. So it was all cold. I call, me personally, I'm a caller because I think that's the fastest path, because if the phone number is just sitting there on the internet, why hide behind the cold email? But oftentimes people don't answer their phone. So I had templates that I wrote up with dope subject lines, hooky, clickbait as shit. And then I had short little poppy messages that would go out. And then if I wanted to be a savage, which I did, I would screenshot their ad, put it in the email. And sometimes I might even throw in, would you even click on that? Right? And then with landing page world, I can send them saying, hey, I saw your ad on Google. I clicked over to the landing page. I just thought, like, are you happy with how this looks if you were the one that were the customer? Right? So I can go straight to the point. Right. So it doesn't have to be something eloquent and I'm going to increase your leads and all that stuff, which is great to be clickbaity, to get curiosity, to get the conversation in the first place. It could just be a straight punch to the gut, because now they're spending money up here. We're solving the ROI down here. Right. So that's kind of my foot in the door. And like even the banner ad thing, the reason I love the banner ad thing is because it made me so much money, number one. But number two, it opened up so many relationships for foot in the doors to ascend into like SEO business, pay-per-click business, web development business. And then I started just hitting up all agencies. And in fact, one of Gary Vaynerchuk's companies, I don't know if he still owns it. I cold emailed him after his very first book. It wasn't a physical print book, I don't believe. I don't know. It was something on some unique app. Like he partnered with an app, probably owned 50% of it. And it was like, I forgot the name of it, but one of the quotes went like this: if you want to make millies, you got to work your fucking ass off. If you want to make billies, you got to work till your eyes fucking bleed. So I took that quote specific, that's verbatim from his quote. I took the Billy's quote. I want to make fucking billies. My eyes are bleeding. That was my subject line. And I put an RE colon as if he had already responded. And then I just said, hey, you don't know me. I don't know you. It's 3 a.m. right now. I'm hustling like crazy. I'm slamming my keyboard like you do. I want business from you. And here's what I do so you can make a quick decision. It took about 30 emails, but the cold email approach worked. Now I can tell this story to you guys. Now, in all honesty, he didn't pay me because I just wanted the story, right? But the whole point is it did work. Now, that same strategy got me in the foot in the door with Geico. They got me in the door with Realtor.com because all I did was cold call all of their leads, all of the people on their website, and they called me into their office because they knew I was doing all their work. And instead of punishing me and sending me a cease and desist, they said, can I hire you? Because you do it better than us. So that's where the value of cold email, where it's customized and targeted, or it can turn into this way bigger picture. Because I was thinking, like you guys may be thinking, which is totally a fine line of thinking, is I want to get that one client, that one contractor, that one realtor. Once I started thinking, well, who's the source that's getting all these clients? Who has the most amount of them? And then what did they miss? What are they missing? Why are people canceling their service? What are their salespeople pissed off about because their company doesn't provide it to their clients, even though their job is to sell, and then they're getting returns? And for me, it was banner ads. And I don't know how to use Photoshop, by the way, folks. I've never still to this day logged into Photoshop ever. I just found the angle, found the price, found something they'd buy, something I can do over the phone, and something I can 1 call close, maximum 2 call close, because I didn't want to do a long follow-up journey because I wasn't selling $3,000 a month. I didn't have to do like push people forward in my calendar too often. That's why the foot in the door gained my trust. I delivered a good product. Then I sold them more of the same thing. I would say, now let's buy 3 more. Let's buy 5 more. Let's buy 10 more. And I had a pitch to justify why. Then it turned into, let's do your landing page. The ascension model kicked in. Then for a handful of people that actually had money and could afford the long game, it was SEO and all the other stuff. But that's where my cold email kind of differs. It's very, very targeted. Like, for example, if I wanted to reach, I don't know, like the first person I cold outreach was like Jim Cathcart, 77, 76 years old, somewhere around there. And he is National Speaker Association former president, Sales and Marketing Hall of Fame, 21 books, most of them international best-selling, top 1% of TEDx talks. Cold email to him. He lives in my neighborhood, wanted to meet him. Met him for lunch. We ended up going out like 10 times for lunch. Met one of the baddest salespeople on the planet. Now I have his network. We created a bond. When I need something, I can call upon him. When I want to be introduced, I can use him as a reference. So it's high leverage, no matter how you look at it, whether it's for introductions, podcasting, being a guest in a Facebook group, or getting that first sale. That's my targeted approach. Is I handwrite these things. Once they're handwritten, because I have to find the pain. I can't just unless there's a way to scrape the Google ad and click the link and find the actual link and automatically send my message, then it's not really that possible. But if that's possible, then find something like that. But for me, it's worth clicking 100 of those ads, sending 100 of those emails manually, because that's money making activities. Because we have to audit our day. What are we doing in a day? Like if our income's high, we have different priorities in our lives. Or if income's low, all we do is have time. So we leverage that time into money producing activities. Cold emailing is one of the greatest ways. Cold calling is one of the greatest ways. Commenting on people's posts, going in other people's Facebook groups and adding value, friending a lot of people, like the Perfect Stranger method. But that's really my core crux of how I like to do personal cold email, because I like to make it thoughtful. Now, if it's some savage that I want to meet, and this isn't the Gary Vee story, this is after that I learned this thing. I learned it from a branding guy who got Tony Robbins on a podcast. I'm like, how the fuck did you do that? And like, this dude, you probably paid a fucking fortune, especially one-on-one, because I heard what he charges, but he didn't pay anything. What he ended up doing was finding out what his favorite pair of shoes was, sent him a letter with a box of shoes. In that box was one shoe. And the letter said, now that I have my foot in the door, can we have a chat so I can give you the other shoe? Right. So very unique market angle. Now I'm not balls enough to like send 1,000 pair of Ferragamos to somebody and maybe not get the business. So what I do, like if you notice, where is he? Like right here, right next to me, let me move him in. I have Cristiano Ronaldo right next to me. So what I do is I just send people a picture of themselves and they have the most fun with that. So if I want to get a hold of people, I just send them a picture. Like Dennis Yu has one of those in his hands. Now we're good friends. Jay Shetty, he has one of those in his hands, who's the most viral guy in the history of Facebook. Right. So those are my angles that I'm finding my cold traffic, producing it as warm. Cold email costs me nothing but my time. And if my time is valued at zero, it's zero. Now, these little things, $9.99 for the cheapies. The big one, Jay Shetty got $50. My lead cost is $50 to open a conversation. So that's my kind of customized strategy of how I like to do things. But when you hear this stuff, like in a month, 2 months, 3 months, it might be executed or never. But when you like a marketing channel, you really like my brain isn't thinking like the channel specifically. It's the angle first. What angle can I write down? What is my pain point that I'm going to tickle and agitate like crazy that they would want to get angry, not at me, at the situation at hand? Like a guy spending $10,000 a month on Google ads that could be burning $7,000 of it because it's not adequate of a landing page, or something really simple saying, hey, I hate to inform you, but like your Google tag manager is not even firing. Sorry. Like, do you know that your analytics are off and you could be spending a lot more than you should be on Google ads? Maybe it can save you at least 50%. That might be worth a conversation, I think. So I'm finding my angle and then I'm going to go after it. So I'll plan angle 1, 2, and 3 in advance. I'm preparing. I'm not going in with one bullet in the chamber. I'll fucking die if I do that. So I have A, B, and C already ready. If they work, I ride it like crazy and I become a robot. If they don't work, I go back to the piece of paper, spend an hour, maybe 2, and then I just re-angle myself again. And sometimes it's not a new offer. It's just saying the same thing differently. How do I know where to send things? Well, that's when you'll have to like Google an address, call an office and saying, hey, I wanted to get a gift for X. Like if I sent it here, would they receive it? Like the ones that I'm mentioning, like the Jay Shetty one, I physically handed it to him. So it was a cold approach in front of 5,000 people, mind you, too. He was running off stage and I held up a head of another dude in front of 5,000 people. Embarrassing as shit, but I was like, fuck it. I don't know them. They don't know me. And the dude just didn't even get his keynote speech out. The first thing he said was pointing at me. He's like, holy shit, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And that's on film. And somebody who was next to me filmed it and gave me the film. So I was like, sweet. That's pretty cool. So, but it worked. I got to talk to him. I got to hang out with him. His manager was like, dude, Jay loved the gift. That was the coolest thing he's ever got. And he made a video and sent it to me. So it was kind of cool to have that interaction, but it's a story I get to tell. I got nothing monetary out of it, but I can get to repeat it in casual conversation. I can kind of build some charm around the story and then move back into my script, right? So it's kind of like an icebreaker, if you will, that keeps me on the mark of what I do for a living to drive the conversation to sales. But as far as who do I determine to actually send it to? It's typically the way I do it is it's been influencer based. So I can have pictures, interviews, and community with bigger people. So I can be the Oprah effect, meaning Oprah Winfrey's only famous for interviewing other famous people. And that's kind of what I wanted to do for this small group that may know who I am in the future or now. It's just leverage those people for a bigger picture. So when I tell my stories, like the Jay Shetty, the Gary Vee, the Jim Cathcart, the Dennis Yu, assuming they know who they are, I have leverage right there of community. So that's kind of how I do my cold approaches. It's not just email. The same logic can be applied to outside gifting. It could be applied to cold approaches at networking events. It could be applied to cold DMing. So it's like a bigger foundation. But once you get good at one channel, you tend to have that creative thought process to think strategically into other areas of written or verbal communication. It becomes a little bit second nature. Does that make sense? Okay, cool.
That's it for this week. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. And don't forget to get shit done. See you on the next one, guys.
Thank you so much for spending the time to watch that amazing training. Like I mentioned previously, my intention is for you not just to watch that training, but if you got something out of it, if you think this information is useful, I want you to continue that journey with us. And you can do that in a couple of ways. One, I want you to smash that subscribe button so that you get notified every single time we put another one of these out, which will be at minimum once to twice per week. The other thing I want you to do is go ahead and click that next video right there beside you so that you can dive in and get shit done. Hope to see you out there.